Alright guys, hello. This is video 3 for Navigator. We are going to be talking through on the midband stat table. It's down here on your bottom left right now. At any point if you want to hide or access it, you have to go down in your filter stats here and go show stats table for midband touch. You need to make sure to give it some time whenever you take some changes to it for it to happen, but it will work on and off like that. Okay? Now, we're going to reiterate a couple things here. Everything is looking for a midband touch to start tracking. And that midband touch has to happen after the bands lock at regular trading hours. When you see these purple bands attached here and here, and when you see the blue lines turn to red, that is telling you that the lines will no longer move like they did here when price keeps making highs and lows. It is set for the day. Okay? And we are looking for band touches to start things, because if you look now on a 5-minute chart, we're tracking 79 days total. Of those 79, 71 of them touched a midband, which right away tells you that some days we have not done anything besides just hover around the middle the rest of the day. Okay? You wouldn't have done much with your account if you would have just watched it move around. You probably would have lost. Okay? We're starting to try to bring things down to probabilities to give you better ideas of what's going to happen. So now the first set of stats on your table is the shallow retracements. Again, shallow 1, shallow 2, deepest 1, deepest 2 are all based of the direction after midband touch. So if you zoom in on this day with RTY, it did not touch shallow 2. It is looking for that specific line touch before it counts it. Okay. These stats are tracking as price moves anywhere for these 4, anywhere after the midband touch. So at some point it counted shallow 1 and shallow 2. Okay. Now they will stop counting after confirmation. So this area over did not get counted in any of the retracements. As soon as that wick went up and over, everything stopped tracking. Besides, on this day, the band to band. It still counts everything that happens, but it's not looking anymore for anything. We are not tracking the reversal moves or anything else yet. Okay. Band to band, no confirmation days, or what we're calling failure. Band to band is literally looking for any time we have gone band to band without a confirmation. We already have confirmation plus band to band. We're tracking those days. It's only happened 10 days out of 79 days. Now we're looking a little more specific, going how many times has it gone band to band without having a confirmation first. Because that's telling us already out of 71 days, it's done that 16 days. Okay. We know that with a 77% chance right now of at some point we go from a midband touch to a confirmation. At some point, any given point, this to this has happened 77% of the days. Now we're going to start breaking down on these stat tables is how deep of retracement does it like to get there. Okay. Midband, no retrace, confirmation is exactly what that is. How many times has it gone from a midband touch directly to confirmation without touching a retracement range first? It's only happened 13 times of the midband touch days. So that tells you most days it's going to happen, but most days it's not going to happen that often. It's only had an 18% probability of that ever happening historically on a 5-minute candle, or in 79 total days. Okay. We know retracements happen. Now we want to start tracking how deep retracements track. Now this is where we're really going to want to get into some details on how these next set of stats are tracked. We're going to focus on the midband, shallow 1 to mid, down to midband, deep 2 to mid. This is tracking 3 specific points, and each one is an individual tracker now. These are different from the way these and these have been tracking. They have essentially a stop loss to them. Something has to happen for it to keep going and track it. So every day we want to know what's the deepest that it likes to go to more than anything else. Okay. Right now, it's going to track this way. We have a midband touch. We have shallow retracement, shallow 1, and it didn't get to the deep, or sorry, it didn't get down to shallow 2, but it came up and we got a midband touch. So we have already accomplished shallow or midband, shallow 1 to mid has happened right here. So it already got a count 1 for the day. Now, depending on the days, like I'm going to show you, these can still get a count. So now shallow mid to shallow 2 to mid is still looking. It has started here. Now we came back and did number 1, but it's still looking yet. It has not been stopped unless we get confirmation or gone band to band. So right now it's still looking, and we did get a shallow 2. So now we have a mid-band touch. We have shallow 2 hit, back to mid-band after that has happened. So each one of these that day got a count. After all this, we also have had a confirmation. So now we're also looking at our next table. It is still tracking the same way, but now it is looking for a confirmation instead of the mid-band. So this day has got a mid-band touch. You went down, and before touching confirmation, it did get to the shallow 2. And then it went to confirmation. So this day will only count for this stat mid shallow 2 to confirmation because it went retraced deeper before getting its target. If we would have gone mid-band to shallow 1 straight up to confirmation, it would have counted shallow 1 alone. If we would have gone from mid-band down to deep 1 to confirmation, it will only count that one for the day. Okay. The probabilities of these, so the next set of stats we put down is just to give you a general idea how much it wants to visit the total range of the shallow retrace. Okay, to give you the idea of how many times, you can add the numbers up, they'll always add up. Okay, this is really, because when you break down each individual level and you track them as independently as we are right now, they look worse than what they really are because they are a lower probability. But realistically, if you're looking at going, this range has a 96% chance for the most part of getting visited to go back to the mid. It tells you already that this was a pretty strong play. Small moves, but happens consistently, at least for RTY right now on the 5-minute. Same thing for the confirmation. Of the times it has gone from the mid to shallow 1 up to confirmation, it's only happened 9 times, where 14 times it has done that to shallow 2. Now as we look at it for the deep to confirmation, mid to deep 1 to confirmation has only happened 4 times, which is kind of telling you, at least with RTY right now in the past 79 days, that once the time it gets down to the deep target, deep retrace, you're pretty rare that you're getting up to confirmation. 54% of the time, it is still happening when it has gone in this deep range, but you're already dropping pretty fast. Your likelihood of going to the mid, excuse me, the mid from the deep retrace range. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong number here, and I'm talking to someone else at the same time. Shallow retrace is still got a 54% probability overall as a range to go up to confirmation. Once you go into the deep retrace range, it drops down to 16%. Okay, same as you can see right here with each individual level. It is by far stopped much more at this mid shallow 1, shallow 2 range to go to either the mid-band or the confirmation range. Okay, and again, everything is still going to go off of, I'm going to try to find another day here that we can give you a little more on how the stats would track. So here's another day where we've got our confirmation, we have mid-band touch. Perfect. Here's a good day right here. So bands start locking right away. We got a confirmation, or a mid-band touch. Okay. Goes down. We right away have gone to shallow 2 to mid. So it has already counted that. We didn't get a mid shallow 1 to mid count that day. We right away went mid shallow 2 to mid. It will no longer count the lesser counts. Okay. We have no confirmation yet. Now it's still looking, and now this day is really crazy because it almost did a band to band, but as you can see, it will go exactly off that line to count a band-to-band touch. Okay? It didn't touch it. It didn't count as a band-to-band play. It did go down to the deepest retracement after your band touch, and eventually we got our confirmation. So this day is one of the 3 that has happened in the past 71 days of midband touches. It has happened 7 times so far that we have done a midband touch, deep retrace to confirmation overall. This was a statistic for that day. We are one of that 3 on this picture. Okay. Again, once something happens though and it goes band to band, like this day, band to band, none of this is tracked. Everything stops tracking. The retracements stop tracking. After that, nothing counts. We will eventually have more stat tables to show us how to start playing the reversals on these. But for now, we are not tracking that. These stats will tell you nothing about that. Okay? Always is looking for the stair-stepped on these ones right here. They're always looking for the stair-stepped logic of what has happened to go back to your target. These both are 2 different sets. These tables are actually split in 2. Okay? So mid, shallow 1 to confirmation, mid, shallow 1 to mid. All right? After confirmation, everything on these tables are done. We now move on to the next table. All right? And we'll move on to that with the next video.